Hey, y'all. So imagine me, November 2021, I'm on my first solo trip to Boston, Massachusetts to go whale watching. Because I love whales, they're my favorite animal. And we're on this boat, and they take you so far out into the water, and there's a point where the sky and the bay start to meet, and I call that where the blues meet. And that's kind of how I think of how grief and joy find each other. But that lesson didn't begin for me on that boat. It began for me in Coach Walter's office. So I was mentoring at US Dream Academy. I love this picture. I was mentoring at US Dream Academy, and we go and check in with Coach Walter, and he asks, how you doing? How are classes? Because I'm in college. How's your family? And he asked me, how's your dad? And I look at him, I don't know. I'm not talking to my dad right now. And he looks at me, he look at me over them glasses, and he say, you're gonna have to clean that up, right? And I rolled my eyes because I didn't want to hear that at the time. But he was right, as usual. And what Coach Walter was really telling me is that youth work is self-work. Again, youth work is self-work. So if I was about to dive into this field of youth development and be around young people, then I was gonna have to clean up my mirror so the young people could see themselves in me. So I listened to Coach Walter, and I went on my journey. And I started reconnecting with myself, really just falling in love with myself, going on my healing journey, going to therapy. And I picked the best time to do that because in October 2021, my dad passed away. And so a month later, I'm on that boat, and I had to pause and ask myself, what am I going to do with my grief? Because grief has the power to mold us. And if it goes unused, we can become these hard and stiff people, but we can take our grief and allow it to mold us into this beautiful shape with ridges and curves and all these imperfections that are just so true to our story. So on that boat, on my whale watching trip, I made a choice. And I chose to mold my grief into joy. And for me, living a life of joy and having a joy-centered life is rooted in three things: authenticity, curiosity, and creativity. So, authenticity. When I started as a director at US Dream Academy, y'all, I was 22 years old. I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea. But they hired me because they believed in me. And I'm not gonna lie, at that time, I am performing because I don't know what leadership is supposed to look like. So I am just thinking of what am I supposed to be as a leader, and I had to stop and pause and realize I'm in a safe space. I have community. I have people around me who care about me, and the only thing they're asking me to do is just be myself. And so that's what I did, because if I was going to be performing, what was I going to require of my young people? Was I going to ask them to perform as well? So I started getting into practices like yoga, meditation, mindfulness, eventually becoming a yoga instructor myself, because that just allowed me to shed these false identities of who I thought I should be and just be myself. And that led me into my world of wonder, or what I like to call curiosity. So then I started solo traveling more. I'm traveling by myself. My mom hates it, but it's okay. I'm traveling, and I'm going on this deep state of exploration, and I'm seeing more of the world outward, but really I'm seeing more of myself, and more of myself in this big, beautiful world. And I start asking more questions. Why? What is this? Why does it matter? What does it mean to me? What are my values in this season of life? And because I'm in this safe space, I'm allowed to express myself, I'm allowed to be curious and ask questions, I dive into creativity. And man, last year, y'all, I had so much fun. I named my year the Kindergarten Adventure, because have you ever been inside a kindergarten classroom? It's like beautiful chaos, like so much is happening. So I decided that's what I want my year to look like. I want to live in full color. I want to be present. I want to show up for myself in ways that I've never seen before. And so that's what I did. And I did The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. So for every morning for 12 weeks, I woke up and journaled 3 pages. Now, did I miss some mornings? Yes, but 12 weeks. I did The Artist's Way, and I just started to uncover my most creative self. I picked up the bassoon for the first time in 10 years, an instrument I hadn't played since high school. Someone introduced me to Cultivating Joy by Goldie Muhammad, and I was like, I can study this, which I will be doing because I just got accepted to my doctoral program this fall. And I realized that there are just so many ways for us to express joy, and one of my favorite ways of doing that is blowing bubbles. So I've been on a mission of trying to pass out as many bubbles to people as possible, because sometimes having joy is literally just grounding yourself, taking a deep breath, and blowing some bubbles. Because joy can be as simple as that. And I'm serious about this because joy is my act of resistance. It's how I stay present. Because joy elevates the beauty of humanity. And what happens when we stop and we take our lives and we start equating our success to wholeness and joy? What kind of people can we really become? And so with that, I leave you guys with 3 things. 1, lead with authenticity, just be yourself. 2, explore with curiosity. And 3, be audacious with your creativity, please. Because when we give ourselves permission to be human, joy stops becoming a reward and it becomes essential to our lives. Thank you.